My video is off. I'll put it on in a minute. All right. Welcome to the class today. My name is Joy Agagwu, and I'm your anchor for this class. Thank you very much for joining us. Maureen, good afternoon. How are you today? Okay, well done. All right, so today we are going to do a little bit of the speaking test again, where those that didn't get the opportunity to speak will speak today. Okay, thank you very much. We will go ahead straight up and go through what we did before on speaking. Get some people that didn't get to do their test before now to do it, and then we will continue from there. In today's class, after I've gotten about 5, I'm just going to give 5 people the opportunity to do theirs today. After they are done, we are going to correct the work that we did on writing. I'm going to be reading out the writing tasks. The corrections are going to be here. I will read them out from my mail, and we do the correction together. I discovered that is going to be more effective. That's because as I correct for one, invariably the other person picks the correction as well. And I'm not going to be calling your names, so you won't get to like say, they said I made so and so mistake. No, that's not going to happen. What is happening is that I'll read out the questions and I'll read out your answers, and the whole class will get to scrutinize it together. We get to work on it together. I give my corrections and then make suggestions, and we move on from there. Is that okay? So yes, Maureen, did you speak in my last class? Onyinye, did you speak in my last class? Tawa spoke in my last class. Amaka, no matter what, you can't speak in this class again.
No, ma. I can't leave talk in the last class, ma.
Tawa, you didn't talk in the last class, did you?
No, ma. It was the previous one. The one.
Okay, so number 1, Maureen. Number 2, Onyinye, have you spoken?
No, ma, I have not.
Okay, so Maureen 1, Onyinye 2, Tawa 3. Omawumi, good afternoon. I don't think I've seen that name in this class before. Are you joining us for the first time?
No, ma.
Don't mind me. I'm very bad with people's names and faces. Yeah? I keep saying it so that you can forgive me when I make those mistakes.
All right.
That is how God made me. It's not my fault. And
Ma.
I'm not ready to repent. Okay. I see you've got company with you, Omawumi. No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, ma.
Tower. So we're going to do it Maureen, Blessing, and Tower for now.
I've not spoken to, ma.
You have not spoken to?
Yes.
You'll be number 4. So let's wait for who is going to be the lucky number 5 person, number 5th person. Let's see how it's going to be. All right, just before you go ahead, we will be talking on speaking today, a little bit of speaking. And based on what we have studied so far, okay, on speaking, we know that there are things that are expected of us, all right, as English speakers. Even though we are not native English speakers, there are certain things that are expected of us, okay? So we will see what and what we are supposed to do or know as students or as individuals. Then we'll go ahead from there. The speaking test lasts for a maximum of 14 minutes. 11 to 14 minutes, that's the range. And then divided into 3 parts. Generally, you will have a face-to-face with your examiner. And here, you will be asked a couple of questions. So your answers are supposed to be given based on the questions you are asked and not on your previous knowledge of whatever topic that you have been tested on. For instance, you have to ignore your previous knowledge of, a topic like, excuse me, like maybe something that has to do with nursing and you know so much about it. Don't go ahead to talk about it when you've not been asked. That's one of the tips. Another thing is that the various parts of the speaking test last for different minutes, okay? And then there are different things that are expected or different procedures at each of the classes or each of the parts that you will be taking part in. It's divided into 3 sections. Section 1 is where you have the introduction and like a dialogue between you and your examiner, where the examiner introduces himself or herself to you. Hello, my name is Joy Agagwu. I'll be your IELTS examiner for today. What's your name, please? And you tell the examiner your name. They do what we call identification, proof of identification. So please, when you are going to the IELTS center, don't forget to go with your POA, which is your international passport. All right. So you go with national passport, they will ask for it, to stretch it forward to her. She have a look. She might ask you what your date of birth is, and then you confirm your date of birth and you go ahead with your exams. After doing that, the examiner is going to like ask you a few questions about yourself. All this will happen between 3 to for about 4 to 5 minutes, And then you move to the second one where it's called the individual long run. This is where you are given a cue card and you are asked to speak on a particular topic. The examiner will tell you that they are giving you 1 minute for you to make your decision, for you to jot anything you want to jot down. They give you time for you to, make a note or something. If you are wise enough and you think you can do it, it's better for you to make a note of not too much of what you are going to be speaking on, so you don't make mistakes. But if you think that would be waste of time, then you can just go ahead and have a look at your card and be talking. All right. The examiner will tell you what and what is expected of you. So please, as much as possible, answer just based on what the examiner is asking. Don't go beyond what your examiner is expecting of you. Is that okay? Then we move to the third part where the examiner is going to ask you some thematic questions that are related to the part 1. For instance, if they had asked you about friends in your speaking part, the part where you had your individual log run, the examiner may ask you questions that are relating to making friends, like, do you think it's necessary? Do you think people still make friends? Do you think friendship is still valuable, and all of that, depending on what he or she decides to ask. So without any further ado, I pray I have it here. Documents, let's see. No. Oh, God. I need my documents. Where are they? Thought I had all this. Something. I'm just looking for the questions for you. Just give me a second, I'll see these questions. Sorry, my computer crashed and I had to buy a new computer yesterday, so we're still trying to upload things on the computer, on the new one I bought. Okay. I can't hear you. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I knew you were not hearing me. I'm looking for your questions now. I will ask you my first candidate. Maureen. Maureen, good afternoon. You can unmute yourself now. Unmute yourself. Have you done that?
Yes, ma.
Good. I'm just going to set your alarm for you so that you get 10 minutes to speak. All right, your time starts now. Maureen, my name is Joy Agagwu, and I would like to ask you a couple of questions today. Are you ready?
Yes, ma.
All right. Can you tell me your full name and your date of birth, please? I don't mind. You can keep the year to yourself, the day and the month. Maureen, can you hear me? Hello, Maureen. Hello, Maureen. She's not even here again. She disappeared. All right. Number two, second person. Blessing. As much as possible, please, if you join this class, endeavor to have your video on. If you don't have your video on, I'll take you out of the class. Blessing is not here. Tower, I've asked you to unmute. You can unmute your mic now. Thank you. Okay, so we need to start all over. Hello, Tower. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
My name is Takalis Olutoyin Adekombi. I was born on 29th November, it's 3.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. So, Tower, do you school or work?
I'm working presently.
All right, so let's talk about your hometown. Where were you born?
I was born in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria.
Okay. Do you still live in Ibadan?
Presently, I'm based in Ibadan.
All right. So do you think that many people love to live in Ibadan? They love Ibadan town? Do you think so?
Ibadan is one of the favorite places for people to stay, especially for families. There are some people working in other states that they leave their family live in Ibadan, especially because Ibadan is one of the biggest city in West Africa, one, and things are so cheap, from the house rent, food, and so many other things. So Ibadan is a very nice place to live. So that's
All
why
right.
most people they love staying in Ibadan. There are some people that will be working in Lagos State, Ogun State, but they have their house in Ibadan. For example, there are some men that they will leave their family in Ibadan and they go to different places to work. And especially the security in Ibadan is very good. It is very safe to be in Ibadan. You can even leave your door and go out in Ibadan. There are no many thieves in Ibadan. So Ibadan is a very good place to stay. If you have 200 naira, you can get food at a very cheap rate. If you want to cook vegetable, 200 naira, you buy gari, smoked fish, you are good to go in Ibadan. Unlike every other places that their cost of living is very high.
Okay,
And
so
concerning house rent,
do you think you would love to live elsewhere in the future?
I might live in another place in the future. It depends on the cost of living of that place and my status then. It depends. But
All
I
right.
still love Ibadan.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we've been talking about your hometown and the place where you live. I'm going to ask you some general questions now. All right. Okay, so you are going to tell me about the accommodation where you live currently. In telling me about this accommodation, I want you to tell me when you moved into that accommodation, that is, how long have you been in that accommodation? Why did you choose to live in that area? And what does it feel like for you living in that particular area? And then tell me about the things that are accessible in your present place.
Thank you, ma. I'm presently staying in a 3-bedroom bungalow located at Akingbile behind IITA, Moniya, Ibadan. I've been staying in that accommodation for the past 4 going to 5 years now, thereabouts. I chose the place specially because actually it is our own house that we built. We had to move there. But I chose the place especially because of the adequate good road network. The place is central. It is not too far from my place of work. I love the good road network. And there is easy accessibility to markets and to the major road going to the north and other places. I enjoy staying in that place purposely because of the weather, then the structure of the houses there. The area is there is adequate ventilation and is a serene environment. In the evening, I can decide to go out and take fresh air with my kids and come back. And the security, you can leave your children outside till like 7, 8. The place is very much okay. And to get some things in the area, it is very, very easy. I'm the kind of person that likes to buy my things from the market, but in a situation whereby I got hooked up, that I had no choice to buy something in the area, it is very easy to get things, goods easily at an affordable rate. The place is easily accessible. It's just if someone is coming there with a public transport, it is easily accessible. Just a bus, you've gotten to my area. Not too far, and it is very close to the University of Ibadan. So I love the area and I'm still enjoying it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of accommodation do you think is mostly common in your country?
There are so many kinds of accommodation in my country. It depends on an individual. But presently, the landlords and landladies in my country now, they prefer to build 2-bedroom apartments and a room self-contained. It says that's what people really search for now, because presently 3-bedroom apartment is very, very expensive. If you don't have like 200,000 naira and above, you can't get a good accommodation. So, but a room self-contained, 2-bedroom apartment is cheap now. So it's one of the most common accommodation these days in my country. So, and that's what people go for because it is cheap. And some people prefer to hang in some accommodations like that till they build their own house.
All right.
So that's the new thing in trend now.
Okay. So, do you think we've been talking about the types of accommodation that is common in your country? We've been talking about your accommodation and you've described so much about it. I would just like to ask you just about one or two further questions on, types of accommodation. Is that okay? Um,
Yes, ma'am.
do you think that people should take the issues of the areas where they live seriously? Securities in areas where they live. Do you think people should take it seriously? And why?
Taking issues of an area where someone wants to stay seriously is very, very important. This is because if you are not sure of the of what is really going on in the area you are staying, you want to stay, it is quite especially security. Few weeks ago in my local government area, something happened consecutively. We had some assassins, or how do I call them in my area, that they were killing women. They started from a teenager. They killed her, and the lady, she's a Muslim, she uses hijab. If I thought they would say that she seduced them. Later, they killed a pregnant lady. The husband wasn't around. Consecutively like that, they killed about 3 or 4 people in my area. And the news was all over the state. In a situation like that, that issue really affected my local government area. So they said that nobody wants to come to that area. So taking some things in consideration before going to a particular is very, very important. For example, light. Electricity in Nigeria is epileptic. And there are some areas that in 3-4 days that they will not give them light at all. And there are some areas that constantly they have at least 6 to 7 hours electricity supply in a day. So in a situation like that, if that one is taken into consideration, I would not like to go to an area where they don't even have a supply in a day. So taking some things into consideration is very, very important before going to take an accommodation in a particular area for security purpose
All right.
and for basic amenities.
Thank you very, very much. I have you have come to the end of your speaking time.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. You're
Yes, ma'am.
welcome. All right, so next person. Maureen, are you ready? Where is she? Maureen,
Ma, I'm ready.
perfect. What happened the first time? Hmm? What happened now? Tell us. Anyway, we're going to start. Hello, Maureen. My name is Joy Agagwu. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please? Maureen. Whew. Tower has spoken. Where is the other person? Blessing. Blessing, go ahead. Unmute your mic. Hello,
I've done that.
Blessing, can you hear me? Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Joy Agagwu, and we are here for your IELTS drill this afternoon. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Okay. My name is Ugwebe Blessing. I was born 18 January.
18th of January. All right. So do you work or study?
I work, ma.
Why? What do you do? Where do you work?
Currently I'm working at Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Parkland.
Okay. So what do you do?
I'm a nurse and I work in a children emergency room.
Okay. Why did you choose to be a nurse?
I chose to be a nurse. I think when I was young, there was a day my dad had an injury. So he called me to dress the wound for him. So I just used, I think I remember I used spirit and mentholated spirit and swab there. So after dressing the wound, I was very happy because I did it like 3 to 4 times, and the wound later healed. So with that, I just think that I will suit better if I become a nurse. And also my mom also told me that it will be better I go for nursing because I had some other course in mind, but she said that nursing is more of feminine issue. So I said, okay, let me go for it. I think I will do better. And I did, and I really benefit.
Do you like your job as a nurse?
Yes, I do. I
So
love
how
doing
well
my
do
job
you
and I enjoy it.
okay, how well do you get on with your colleagues at work?
Not really easy because sometimes when you're on duty with some people, my kind of person, when I go to work, I like doing what I'm supposed to do. And sometimes I do job description. So I will do my own, but some people, if you state out some things that they should do, some may not find easy with you. Some will just keep quiet, and some um they will just, if you do your own and you are telling the person, please, me, I don't like reminding someone what to do. So I'll feel like when you come to work that you're supposed to check the job description to know what you're expected to do. So sometimes I don't.
Continue talking, I'm hearing you. Continue to talk, I'm hearing.
Sometimes people would like to be reminded what they are not supposed to be reminded to do. So sometimes I don't go well with them.
Okay.
I find that
All
I
right.
can relate with them.
So if you had a chance, would you change your job? If you had the chance, would you change your job? If you had the
I don't
chance.
think so. I won't change.
Okay. So you plan to continue your
I
job
won't
in the
change.
future, do you?
Yes, my do.
Is it a very popular occupation in your country?
Yes, ma, it is. Of course, because there are a lot of hospitals around, even a lot of private hospitals are all around. So
Okay.
people, when you get there, you see that they have a lot of nurses. So yes,
Okay.
is lucrative here.
All right, that's fine. I'm going to ask you further questions. We have just been talking about your job, the kind of things that you do. I'm giving you a card, and on this card, you've got questions to answer. You have 1 minute to yourself, and you can write some points down if you want to. Is that okay? So you are going to describe for me a
Yes, ma'am.
piece of art that you like, a piece of art that you like. In describing this piece of art, you should say what the artwork is, when you first saw it, what you know about it, and explain why you like it. Your time starts now.
Okay, ma. Um, the piece of art that's what the artwork is a portrait of a woman with a baby, which I saw in I had a teaching hospital in Anambra. So as I was just walking past there, I saw a woman with a baby. The portrait was she was carrying a baby, positioning of as if she's breastfeeding the baby. So I saw that portrait. That was around 10 years ago. Then I wasn't a nurse. So I didn't know that portrait, it was as in, there was a word around there. That was the reason that they placed it there. So when I asked, they said that the section is maternity section. That was why they placed the portrait there. So I just took interest in the portrait, and really, that was when I started. I was very happy. At least this, even if the person doesn't know anything about the environment, once you see such a thing, it will direct your attention that maybe you are around a maternity section, maybe labor ward, because labor ward was also close to the place. This thing, newborn unit also was closed. Then postnatal as well was closed there. So that was when I knew that is related to the environment that they placed it there. Then why I like the portrait was that it really showed that mothers are caring, because the way you will see, not that you are not seeing her like she's doing it physically, but at least from your own feelings, you will know this woman really cherish the baby, because the way she was just positioning the baby, you know that really she cherished the baby. So I think that was the piece of art that I saw, and I was really happy when I saw it, and also it made me to like nursing, and I picked interest there,
Okay.
and that was why I like nursing.
All right. So
Yes, please.
generally, what kind of art do you enjoy?
Um, I I enjoy the an act that portrays this thing, injection. There was this one that I saw. It has syringes, medicine. It showed me that um, that medicine is noble. So I just like
Okay.
any
So
art that portray medicine.
in other
I
words, you
pick
like
interest there.
descriptive arts. You like descriptive arts, in other words. All right. So what are the traditional
please.
art forms, traditional forms of arts in your country? Do you know?
Um, okay. There is around my place. There is a place that they call um someone that is beating drum. As in there is a portrait there that they say that the people around there beat drum. So they had that portrait that someone, as in you see the person, the portrait was just demonstrating that someone is beating drum. I think that's the I
Okay.
think
All
that's
right.
what.
So what do you think? Do
Uh,
you like paintings? Do you appreciate paintings when you see paint works?
yes, I do. If
All right.
it's
So
done
what
well,
makes a good
if it's
painting
done
to
well,
you?
I
What makes
like
a good painting to you? What do you think make a good painting?
if you're able to um bring out the person's as in physical features very well. I think I appreciate that one as well. If you can get everything needed, I think I just appreciate it if it's exactly what that I'm seeing, the person's the human being physical that you are
All right.
giving me. I think I appreciate it.
Okay. So
I
do you think
appreciate it.
children
Yes.
should be made to study art in school? Is it encouragable, as in, is it advisable? Do you encourage that children should study art in school?
I mean, I don't encourage. The person can just do it as a secondary business, not really going into school for arts. That this is maybe the person wants to be an artist. Me, I don't.
Okay,
The
Blessing.
person can just
Thank you
take it
so
as
much. You have come to the end
a
of your
secondary business.
speaking test. Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you, ma.
Where's my
Thank
number
you.
4? I had a number 4. Where's my number 4? Where's that lady again? Adeyemo, Tolu, right? Was it Tolu? I don't think it was. No, it was not you. It was not you, but now you are the lucky one. Go ahead and speak. And after that, Mark, can you put your video on, please? We have a rule in the class. When you come to the class, you should have your video on. If not, you can join us on YouTube and watch at your convenience. Please put your video on.
My video is
Tolu,
on.
it's not you I'm talking to, Mark. I think Mark
Okay.
Ogile or something. Yes, Tolu, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Finally, I got to remember the face. At least I try. I tried today. I
Yeah.
tried today. All right. So you are going to be my next speaker. And yes. Tolu, do you work or study?
Presently, I'm working.
All right. I just need to set your time. By the way, my name is Joy. Um, you're here for your IELTS drill this afternoon. Um, can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
My name is Tolulope Adeyemo Juliana, and I was born on the 4th January.
Do you enjoy your birthdays?
If I could remember vividly, I've never celebrated anyone, although I might be in the house or on duty most of the time because it comes January 4th. So I'm always busy, and the only thing I could remember, maybe people calling me and my phone is on silence and I'm on the ward. So I've never celebrated my birthday before. And I wish to, which I know maybe one day when I'm free from my duties, and I could take maybe some vacation out there to visit my friends and
Okay.
family.
All right. So what did you do? What were you doing on your last birthday? The last one. What were you doing on that day?
Yes, that's last. Exactly 4th January this year. I was on duty. I'm on money duty. I had some critically ill patients on the ward, which I was nursing. So I could not even remember it was my birthday until I got home late in the night. And everybody was like, happy birthday to me. I said, wow, I never knew it was my birthday. And I saw
Okay.
I have to open my phone to see so many messages and all the rest. But I was
All
actually on
right.
the watch when for my birthday.
Okay. Do most people celebrate their birthdays with a party in your country?
Yes, I would say yes. A lot. I do that a lot, even for my own kids. Although I never even remembered mine, but I do that. We do it with even sending to the extent of sending invitation cards to our friends and family to come and felicitate with us. Some of them even travel all the way from their hometown only to come and celebrate and enjoy their time out with you. So we do it a lot, especially in Nigeria. It's one of
Okay.
those things that keeps us busy.
Okay. So which birthdays are considered important in your country?
Well, I will not say all birthday are really important, depending on the individuals. If you have enough of money to celebrate it, then you might really take it to places where people can see that you are actually doing your birthday. Or some even go as far as taking their pictures and birthday, taking going to amusement park for their birthday, and some it might be to the social media, e.g., Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, posting themselves, trying to say they are celebrating their birthday. So
Okay.
that's
Thank you very, very much, Tolu. Um, all right. Now we are going to be talking about yeah, your part, a second part of this, and I'm giving you a cue card where you are going to be talking about a book that you have read recently. You tell me about a book that you have read recently. In the description of this book, you should tell me what kind of book it is. Okay? You tell me what the book is about, and then you tell me what sort of people enjoy this book and explain why you like the book. You have 1 minute for you to jot down points that you want to talk about. Remember that you are telling me about a book that you read recently. Tell me the kind of book, tell me what it is about, and what sort of people would enjoy that book, and explain why you like it. The time starts now.
okay. Um, I want to talk about a book I read recently. The kind of book I always love reading, oftentimes, is a Bible. I'm a Christian, and most of the time when I wake up in the morning, and that's the first thing after my prayer, I want to meditate. Bible has been a very lovely book to me because I I learned a lot of things from it. It's actually about the creation of those words, and how the world is going to end and how Christians are meant to live their life. So the book has always encouraged me in so many ways. It has made my life, will I say it has edified my spirit, and it has encouraged me even when I'm in doubt, or even when I'm in pains or going through a lot of emotional problem. It has enabled me not to break down, even though I feel like I'm depressed, maybe because of the situation of things around me. And a lot of people around me, when I talk to them about what I read in the Bible, they do enjoy it, especially the Christians, even the pastors. They encourage us to always read the Bible every day. And that's what I always do every day, to keep on reading my Bible, especially Psalm, especially the book of Psalm. I love reading it. I bring out some points every day from it. And that has always edified me, helped me in so many ways of my life. Even when I'm talking to people, even on the word, because I work on the word, I try to emphasize more on them reading the Bible every day, bringing out so many points that could help them get out of their depression, even their sickness. And a lot of people have testified that yes, it's actually worked for them. Not even um, there was a particular period, maybe I remembered with my husband, he was really threatening my life, trying to make a lot of um, problem with me and my children. But I was able to scale through because I had my Bible with me. I could read some verses that encourages me not to fight, to not depend on human being, but to think about those things that are spiritual, that could help me, that the Heavenly Father would help me in every way of my life. So I believe the Bible is a very good book, which
Okay,
I love reading every day.
thank you very much, Tolu. Do you think people still read books with all the hustling and
Well,
bustling and the, all the busyness
well,
going
uh,
on and around people?
well,
Do they still have time to read books?
well. I will say people don't like reading books again. I also don't like reading books, but I prefer the Bible so much. Reason why people don't like reading books is because they are already used to their Android phone. Most people, books now are majorly on phones. We don't see people carry e.g. magazine, newspaper, name all sort of books that are available in the market. People don't do that any longer. Most of the books are being compressed and stored in maybe in the reader on the phone. So most people don't really carry, I don't really see people read books, but I see a lot of people do that using their Android phones all the time. And that's
Okay, that's good. So, besides reading the book, the Bible that you read, would you have loved to read any other book?
sorry, please, can you repeat?
Beside the Bible, are there still any other book
Couldn't
that
hear.
interests you that you read?
Always try to read my medical surgical book, which is because I'm working on the ward and major problems that I'm always seeing on the surgical cases, just to brush up on so many things that I have forgotten and to be able to help my patient. That's all those books.
All right, thank you very much, Tolu. You have
It's a
come to the
book.
end
I
of your
don't love I
speaking
don't love
test.
reading books. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yep, you're welcome. Yeah. Mark, good evening and welcome to this class. You happen to be the only male in our midst today, and it looks like you are blessed amongst women. It's your turn. We've been talking about speaking, and in speaking, we're made to understand that there are three parts. The first part is the introduction and the interview, where the examiner gets to know who you are. You exchange, like you give the examiner your international passport to identify you. That's your proof of identification. And then he or she asks you a couple of questions about you, maybe about your job, about anything, but ask you about. They are all general, they are questions from general topics, okay? And then you go to the second part. That period lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. You go to the second part, which is called the individual long run. It lasts for about 3 to 4 minutes. That's where you are asked, you are given a cue card. And on that cue card, the examiner has certain questions that they are going to ask you. And then they give you 1 minute for you to think and to jot anything you think is important down before you start answering. After that, the examiner tries to round up that session with you by asking you a couple of 1 or 2 questions that are related. And then you move to the third part, where it's known as the dialogue between you and your examiner. They invite you to talk about certain things, and they ask you questions and expect you to answer them. All in all, you are going to be rated on what we call the band descriptors. We've been talking about them in this class for so long. We have your grammatical range and accuracy. The examiner will be ranging your English, your spoken English. Many of us from Africa have a major problem with speaking English, the speaking of English. It's not our fault, it's because of the place we're coming from. So many things have changed over time, but for you to fit into the global world generally, you must have a reasonable level of interaction in English. You must attain a reasonable level, and that's the reason why you are made to write the IELTS exam before you are able to relocate to those countries for you to work or school. Now, you will also be rated based on your coherence and cohesion. You are not writing, neither are you listening, but you are speaking. And your coherence and cohesion here is going to be rated based on how your work is flowing. For instance, the examiner asks you to tell them about a book that you read recently, what sort of book it is, what kind of people enjoy reading the book, and why you like to read the book. If you start answering by telling her or telling him why you like to read the book before you talk about the sort of book, you are rated low for your coherence and cohesion. They ask you this question systematically, and they expect you to answer it in accordance to how you were asked. Sometimes you answer very well, but you mix them up. At the end of the day, your work is not organized, and the examiner can rate you low. You see people coming from the speaking test class, and they're like, hey, I really spoke today. Hey, I gave all the answers. And they come out, and at the end of the day, they have a low mark. It's not because they don't have the answers. It's because their work is not organized. So for you to score a high band, you need to put into consideration your coherence and your cohesion. All right. Another thing is the issue of your lexical resource. Okay. When we're talking about lexical resource, what are we talking about? We're talking about the use of your words. All right. Sometimes when they say a book, okay, you can say an article, you can say an item, you can say something I enjoyed to read, okay? And then you don't have to give this examiner all of the things that they have given you in the statement, just like you would in your writing. In your writing will tell you that you need to paraphrase using, different words to say the same statements in not the exact same way, but with the exact same meaning. Okay, so these are things that you consider as well. Then your sentence formation. You need to be very careful of how you use, your sentences, how you say them. If you don't say the right things, you're on your own. Another thing that may not be in the band descriptors like for the other ones is the fact that your examiner is trying to rate your fluency. Okay, your examiner wants to know how you can flow with your spoken English. Your examiner wants to know your boldness. They want to see it's okay for you to be a little bit anxious in a speaking test. That's because you've not seen this examiner before. You don't even know who they are. And there's this fear that they will fail you. The examiners are not there to fail you. They are there to rate you. And whatever you give is giggle. You garbage in is garbage out. So what you give them is what you get to score for, okay? So they rate your composure, okay, your gestures. How much of this body language were you using when you were speaking with them? You are trying to convince somebody about a book that you read and you love so much. In the course of your talking, are you able to really convincingly say the things that concerns that book? Have you been able to say things like you were really interested in that book or for the purpose of the exam? They rate you on all of these things. So yes, oh, I have someone else. Another male has joined us. Okay. Anyways, Mark, you will get 10 minutes to speak. And in these 10 minutes, you are going to take part in part 1, part 2, and part 3. All right. In this class, there's no shame. In this class, there's no shyness. We don't even know ourselves. Maybe 1 or 2 persons may know themselves personally, but we are all here to learn. So it's your time, brother. Let's see, where do I start from? Okay. My name is Joy Agagwu. You should be the only one with your phone unmuted. If you're in this class and you don't have your video on, it's an offense against all of us, and we will all join hands together to punish you for it. All right. So your time starts now. Hello, Mark. You're welcome to this class. My name is Joy Agagwu, and I'm the anchor for the class. I'm drilling you today on your speaking test. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please? You are still muted or what? I can't hear you, brother. What's happening? I can't hear. Can anybody hear him? Mark, can you hear me? You can hear me, but I can't hear you. I'm only seeing your lip moving. Do you mind going out of this class, and for yourself, go out? Then when you are logging in, there's something that will pop up on your screen, like join with audio or something. Don't ignore it. Click on it, all right, and join again. Stephen Oyi, you are welcome to this class. I'm seeing so many new faces today. That's a good thing. Just to let you know, one of us passed the exams again between our last class and now. The person passed the exam, and this time it was not narrow escape. It was a fantastic score. Fantastic score. It was not narrow escape. So, I mean, it's a good thing. You know, I like good news. I like good news. It shows that step 1 is gone. And for such a person, if not because of some delays, you know, in the processes and all of that, from the day you passed your IELTS and you opened your account and you started the process, it should take at least 6 months. From there to 6 months time, you should be in the UK. So if you have passed your IELTS exam in this October, November, December, January, February, March, April, you can be in the UK. So yeah. Linda, what are you saying? I can see. I'm seeing so many people are wishing the result becomes their own. Don't worry, you will write your own exam and it will become your own result.
Amen.
Hello, Mark, can you hear me now? Can you speak and let me hear? Wow. There's a problem with, can you increase your volume a little bit on your phone? I'm just trying to see if, I know the problem is not from our end here. Are you using earphone or something? Can you remove it and speak directly? Let's see if it works.
Can you hear me?
Perfect. Your earpiece is faulty, uncle.
Okay, thank you, ma.
Okay. So, you've told, let me start again. I'm Joy Agagwu. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Yes, I'm Mark Ndubisi Ogile, and I'm born in the 13th of July, 1993.
All right. So, Mark, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood? Growing up, what has it been like for you?
I grew up in a village in the eastern part of Nigeria. And in the village, the life was just like a routine. In the morning, you wake up, eat your food, go to farm. Apart
Okay.
from that, we also had to go to school sometimes when school is in section.
Okay. So, did you enjoy your childhood?
I won't say that I enjoyed my childhood that much because it is not easy to work every day. But apart from that, I also had some friends that I related with and they
Okay.
were good. So I think I can still remember some of them.
Okay. So, what is your first memory of your childhood? Can you remember?
Yes, I can remember the first day at school.
Okay. Hello, Mark. Wow. Network. This is not fair. Abi, this life no balance. No balance at all. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. Mark has gone. Now I have exceeded my time that I wanted to use for speaking, and so we have come to the end of speaking. Maureen, it's not my fault. I tried. Don't do that face like for me. It's not my fault. We all tried. Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So
My
what
network is
happened?
really poor.
Your network is very, very poor.
Yes, I'll have to buy another SIM card next time before next
Okay,
class.
that's perfect. That's a good one. Buy another SIM card, buy another earpiece. Okay, so
Both
that
of them.
you can participate in the class seriously,
Tutor,
and then
and they
you
will see
have
your face,
better
but they
network.
won't hear your voice.
Miss, mommy did not talk.
Your mommy will not talk today because she has talked already. All right, so now it's time for the bomb. Who was my first speaker? What's your name? What's your name? Identify yourself before I catch you. Okay. Blessing. Don't worry. I don't know who the first speaker is. Who was my first speaker? Where is she? Where did she go to?
Kali,
Where did she run to? Tower?
I'm here, ma.
Okay, so Tower,
Yes, ma.
you said some very good things about the place you lived, about your accommodation, but you went off point when I was asking you the types of accommodation that is common in your place. Types of accommodation can be 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, single room. I know Ibadan. There are so many one single room in Ibadan. There are so many old buildings in Ibadan. There are so many areas without water supply in Ibadan. They have to queue in some places where there is tap. Many areas, people are congested. So why did you not mention those things? I said the types of accommodation, and you were telling me something that was out of point. I wrote that when you got to types of accommodation, you were going off point. So you need to be careful how you answer your questions. You may say the right things, but if you are answering the wrong question with the right answer, there's no way it can be right. you will definitely miss it. Okay, so types of accommodation, you were just supposed to say about the types of accommodation that are available. Your type of accommodation was one. You're staying in whatever, maybe 3-bedroom bungalow. That is a type of accommodation. You can decide to say the types of accommodation in Ibadan, that there are various types, but in the area where you live, this and this and this are the types that are common. Simple. You have answered the question. Okay. So please, it's for everybody. That correction is for everybody. Be very careful how you answer the questions. In your zealousness to talk plenty, don't go and answer OP so that you don't score wrong answer. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Blessing. You have an assignment and you send it to my personal mail. You are going to type and look for on Google, learn about paintings. Any other person can do it. If all of you want to do it, it's fine. Because you don't know the kind of question that will come out through. And you won't sit there and be chopping mouth. So please learn about paintings. What are paintings? What are the types of paintings that you can find? All right, then types of art. Go and type it on Google. Traditional arts in Nigeria. When we were in secondary school, fine art, we did all this, the knock art. Did we not do all those knock arts? We had art that represented war, where you will see some kind of this thing and it's telling about how Biafra people, how they killed them. I know there are many of them in Owerri and in Anambra. I know of a place in Enugu around that side where they had those artworks that was showing how they were killing their people. That's a type of art. Please, artwork is not only paintings, okay? Those carvings and those portraits, those ones that were done into a stone, or those that were done into woods, or those molded, okay, with cement and all that. The one that Rochas Okorocha went to go and do for one ex-president that they put in Nigeria, somewhere in Owerri, you know that is an artwork. So please learn about types of our traditional arts in Nigeria. The Mokwa art. What about the Odudua art? The one that is carrying that face where we have, when you see that thing, you know it's Yoruba. What about the one in Benin? That art, that head that they carve, that when you see it, you know this one is Benin. You need to know about these things, okay? There are some that are in Kaduna State, okay? We don't have many of them in my state, but when I go to my place now, I know that there's a statue of the Inikpi. You know, when I get to the Ata of Igala Palace, just at the roundabout, there's a statue of the Inikpi that is an artwork, okay? Artworks are not just paintings. Now, you need to learn about types of paintings as well. Then there are types of arts, what they portray, okay? What they tell about is the type of art. We have arts that are descriptive arts, like you had the one with the mama breastfeeding the baby, showing that it is a maternal area, that it is maternity, it is postnatal, it is labor ward, everything that has to do with the woman. When you go to some hospitals, you come and you see a portrait and you see a stethoscope, okay, and you see like syringes and needles and all of that. Those are artworks that are portraying, like showing that what this particular place or area is identified with, or what they stand for. You need to learn it as a person. So you, Blessing, go and study it and write me a mail to my personal mail. Tolu, please, next time I ask you a question, go straight to the point and answer my questions. I like your description of you talking about how the Bible affected you and all of that, but you never mentioned the kind of people that like to study those kind of books with you as well. And then you didn't tell me the kind of book it is. When I say kind of book, there is the romantic books, there is the religious books, there is, you know, like, you need to tell me. So Bible is a religious book, and the kind of people that will like it or enjoy it are Christians. That is the truth. So yes, you chose to talk about the Bible, which is good, but you also need to answer the sub questions that are under it. All right. If not, you will miss out at the end of the day. Here we are. We have the next couple of minutes to talk about your writing task that you have sent. How many people have writing tasks that they sent here? Long time ago, you sent your writing task. Oh, Only 2 people. 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 of you. Why? What are the rest people doing? Did you not go to listen to our previous classes? Or you people are so good in writing that you don't need writing? It's only speaking and maybe reading that you need. It's okay if you are good in writing and you don't need help with writing. Now I have 23 mails. I will not go through all of them, but I will go through some of them. I have a work that somebody had written about there is a high demand for interaction between children in schools, despite the diversity in their language and culture. Some are of the opinion that all children should study a foreign language. To what extent do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? We did this in class. The need for cooperation among youngsters in the learning environment is increasing, irrespective of the differences in their dialect and tradition. Some individuals are of the view that the entire kids should learn a strange language. I strongly agree with this point in the next paragraphs. You see, the last part of your introduction scattered your introduction. It was a perfect paraphrase. I love the paraphrase so much. I like the fact that nothing among the words that were used in the question appeared in your introduction. I love the fact that you were able to tell me exactly what that particular question says without repeating what the examiner was saying. I appreciate that you understand what the question is, but that I strongly agree with these points in the next paragraphs. Abeg class, based on what we have learned, Mona help me judge. Is this correct? Even if you don't know it, say the truth now. Is it correct? It's not correct. I'm not going to call your name. You are the owner of this work. Stop looking at me. If not, I'll call your name. Anyway, so I'm just joking. So I told us that first impression does what? Matters a lot. If your specific paragraph was so perfect, I as an examiner, I will fall in love with this work, and my subsequent reading, I may ignore some of your mistakes. But because I have seen this, and I now know that, she understands the thing, but her English get as e be. I will now start looking for your mistakes so that I can mark you down and be justified that I marked you very well. That is what happens when you are marking. So please, what did I say? I said when it is confusing, when you don't understand exactly what to say, what will you write? This essay will discuss my opinion. Simple. Nobody will cut your mark. The only assignment now is your examiner will be looking for where you either agree or disagree. That's all. Don't go and tell me I strongly agree. Okay, you strongly agree that what? Okay, you are telling me here now that you strongly agree. So where is your point that you strongly agree with? No, tell me. You say that some are of the opinion that they should teach. It means that others are of the opinion that they should not learn it. So which of them are you strongly agreeing with? You didn't mention. If you are going to have to say you agree and you are starting it with like that, you need to tell me what you agree with and why you agree. And that is a long process. That's the reason why I said for you to be on the safe side, please use this essay will discuss my opinion. I've said it too. Firstly, Chinese proverb states thus: do not confine your children to your own learning, for they were born in another time. For they were born in another time. Full stop. You put comma. I'm very critical when it comes to reading things like this. Full stop. You put comma. You are bringing in Chinese proverb, it's fine. If it relates to the work, it's okay. Firstly, remember, I told you if you use firstly, I'm your examiner, I'll be looking for what? Secondly. Now you did not use secondly, you went to go and use furthermore. Don't use firstly, don't use secondly, don't list your answers. Except you are writing in a process, you are writing a process graph or something in your writing task 1. That's why you can say the first process in the is, do you understand? Firstly, to begin with, that is all for task 1 in your graphs and in your paragraph, your what is it called again? Process graphs. Explanation of the processes. You can use firstly, secondly, followed by next to it, consequently, subsequently. But when you are writing, you are doing a writing task 2, please avoid the use of these things that suggest that you are counting points. Firstly, secondly, thirdly. It means that it means that all the points that you have here now, for instance, is only 1 point, because that's the only place I have seen firstly in your work. Meanwhile, you have a couple of points. Use more of your cohesive devices. In addition, you can say to begin with. All right? To begin with is okay. Or you can just attack it. A Chinese proverb states that it's like a debate. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you are trying to stand your ground. Now, this is a debate. So the way you will say it if you were to debate it with me is the way you should write it, because you are writing it for me. Okay? And then I am looking for more of your cohesive devices here. I didn't find them. I only found firstly, I found one furthermore, and that was it. Then in conclusion, having school children learn an alien language may cause linguistic overload. So how do you see where you are contradicting yourself now? You told me that you agree that they should learn a language, and you are saying that it will cause overload. Auntie, I will send you slap. Oh. I'm just joking. You see, you should be careful. This is the reason why we have this kind of class, okay? So that we can correct ourselves. And if there's anybody too that has made similar mistakes, please correct yourself. You should not contradict yourself. Please don't contradict yourself. Okay? I like if you are saying, okay, oh, the mail did not finish in 1 page, oh, that's why. Hold on. Before I go and correct wrongly now, and the person will be getting angry that she didn't finish reading my work and she's screaming at me. Okay, so in conclusion, you started wrongly still. In conclusion, having school children learn an alien language may cause linguistic overload. Nevertheless, I strongly agree that it will help to improve socialization skills and provide overseas work opportunities. Those were your reasons. Now, you can't start like this and you can't end like this. You will say, in conclusion, although, or despite the fact that it may cause an overload, which was your concession. I've read it and I saw that your concession was talking about people saying there's an overload and all of that you teach them too much and they forget other things. That's fine. So your conclusion should be, although teaching them alien languages may cause an overload, nevertheless, however, you can use any of those words, okay? I am of the opinion that this and this and this, because of what? Of your reasons that you gave me in your first body paragraph, talking about the job opportunities that it grants to them and how it helps them to socialize. As we are saying it in class now, it seems as if it's easy. It's until you start writing that you will understand that it is actually very difficult for you to put these things down. Okay, that's the reason why you need to keep practicing. Whether Joy is reading your work or not reading your work, keep doing it. I told us about an app that a group of people identified. They downloaded an app on one of those groups, and they'll do their writing and send it, and the app will score it and tell them where it's wrong. I don't even know the app. I don't know the name. IELTS something, task, whatever. I will ask Miriam. If you see, there's a lady on this platform. Her name is Miriam. So,
IELTS grader. IELTS
thank
grader.
you. Thank you. They said it's IELTS grader. Go and download it and use it. That thing is very, very good. I've seen some of the things that I did for some people, and I had similar corrections in mind, and the app has helped them to do it. So you need to keep writing. You need to keep writing. Whether I answer it or I don't answer, I don't reply you, please. This helps to encourage on the need for having children learn an additional language in order to have a fundamental social skill. And know how to best interact and know how to interact well will be fine, please, with other children. In this small write-up that you have used the word thus, THUS, in 4 places. I have seen thus. Do not confine your children. It goes thus. A Chinese proverb says, and then don't put thus. It goes thus. No, please. It says your quotation mark, you quote it, then you close quotation and you put a full stop. Whenever you quote something, remember to put a full stop there before you continue writing. It's not comma, please. It's full stop. After the quotation mark, full stop, then capital letter to start the next statement. Is that okay? That way you are safe. So you see, the second assignment says that there has been an increase in the proliferation of private cars in many parts of the world. Some people think that this is a positive trend, while others assume that there are negative consequences. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Remember that I said in writing discussion of both views that you should keep your opinion out of body paragraphs 1 and 2. Is that not what we said? Do you all remember? Did you all apply it when you did your work? Because I know somebody that did not apply it. If you say yes, I know you. Okay. So you should keep your opinion away from the body paragraphs, all right? I'll remove some people from this class now. They think I'm joking. Okay, so the answer, I said that you should keep your opinion away from your body paragraphs. Let your opinion come in your paragraph, in your conclusion, where you will say, you will summarize both points, and then you will give your opinion. Is that okay? That's why you have come back, Abi. Where did you go to before? I was looking for you at some point to ask you a question, but it's fine. I'll ask you later if we have time. If not, stop. That's gone. Okay, so please, in your conclusion, ensure that you insert your opinion, no matter how small. Make sure you say it. And in saying your opinion, you need to summarize the reasons why you are choosing that side. Remember that your opinion is either in part 1 or in part 2. What I mean by that is either on the side of those that are speaking against it or those that are speaking for it. So in your opinion, you should make sure you mention the reasons why it is like that. And you remember the use of although, however, but, nevertheless. Those are the things you can use in your conclusion. The reason is because for some of these, especially the opinion essays, both sides and opinion, you are going to be talking about the two sides. Remember that I said that when you are writing a conclusion for an agree or disagree essay, the part that you are agreeing to should come last. Your part should come last, while the other part comes first in your conclusion. That is to show that even though it is like this, for me, this is the one I want. You understand? It shows that you understand what you are doing. Even though people say that there will be overload for children when they learn too many languages, even though people say that they get confused, even though people say that it is not necessary, I am of the opinion that they should be allowed to learn. This is because it helps them to mix well in school, interact with each other, and it provides for them better job opportunities later on in life when they can speak many languages. It also helps to prevent cultural shock. You know, we talked about, like, I gave you an example when I was explaining that thing. I told you specifically about when I came into this country and I had to like go through so many things that I was not used to. So if I was like acculturated from my country, I will come here and I will find that those things are not so difficult, right? I discovered that for my kids, it was easier for them to adapt than it was for me, because they were more of computer people right from Nigeria. They had all the phones and all the accesses and everything. I didn't plan to come here and start working with a computer or start working as a nurse from home. How do you even do that? But they are doing it here. All right. So yes, the answer says due to the hike in the fleet of individually owned, madam. Individual owned, no, individually owned, if you are going to use that word. And you should please let there be what? A hyphen, and that means it is one word. When you write that individually owned, I am counting your number of words, I count that as one word. You remember what I taught you when I was doing reading with you, and I said things like state of the art is counted as one word because there's hyphen in it, even though it is state of the art, 4 words joined together with the hyphens. All right. So if you make the mistake and you write it as 1, 1, 1, 1, it will mean a different thing. It will mean a different thing, and it will increase your word count, and then it will reduce your mark if it is a reading test. It will mean a different thing. It will increase your word count, but it will give a different meaning if it is in reading, it is in writing test. So you need to be careful about how you use your words. Okay, individually owned cars. Grammar. If I'm going to mark this person, at the end of the day, grammatical range and accuracy is the major challenge here. Grammatical range and accuracy. I saw a very good coherence and cohesion. There's a flow in the first work that I read to you, because she had gone, attacked the first part and gone and attacked the second part, and she gave me a conclusion. At the end, she had 4 paragraphs. The work was well organized. So kudos to you. Your work was well organized, but you need to improve on your grammar. All right? Okay. So a handful of people are of the opinion that a handful of people, not handful of people. Like you say handful of people now, it means that the hand is full of people. But when you say a handful of people, it means a few number of persons. Do you people understand what I'm trying to explain? If you say hand full of people, a hand like this now, so where can the people even stand? You want to put them on my fingers or where, or in the thumb, auntie? Okay, so yes, a handful of people, please. We need to get used to some of these things. We may have been hearing people using them, but even if they use them and it's wrong, let's correct it and use it wisely and correctly. I think this kind of correction is better than the individual correction self. That's the way I feel, because as we are doing it now, we are learning. All of us are learning. I'm also learning, I hope you know. So a handful of people are of the opinion that it is advantageous. So why don't you say a handful of people suggest, because there is opinion in the question already. Okay, if you say a handful of people suggest, or of the view, okay, they are of the view that, all right, or they argue. A handful of people argue that, okay, why some? You understand? This essay will elaborate on both sides and I will state my opinion. Wow. This essay will discuss both sides of the argument and give my opinion or suggestion or view and explain my view. The last part again, until you have a problem with the introduction. You need to keep writing introductions more and more, please, especially the end part of the introduction. Your paraphrasing is very, very good. I like the fact that you have good synonyms that you are using for your words. Okay, it's very, very good, and I say kudos to you for that. But you need to learn the second part. Remember, we have two parts in our introduction. We have the general statement and the specific statement. The general statement is your question prompt paraphrased using your synonyms. Okay, while the question prompt, the specific statement is your assignment. Your assignment says that you should discuss both parts of this argument and give your opinion. So you will say this essay will discuss both sides of the argument. Okay, if you can't say that, or if you don't want to say that, if you think it's too general, you can say something like this essay will discuss the merits and demerits, because he's talking about the positive and the negatives. Do you understand? You can say this essay will discuss the positives and the negatives. You can say it's going to discuss what again? What other word do we have for consequences? Negative consequences. You can get words for them. So this essay is going to discuss the positivities, okay, and the negativities of what? Of increase in privately owned cars. If you are going to, like I said, if you are going to use any word other than this essay we discussed, make sure that you tell me exactly what you're doing, because that's what the question is asking you. Do we understand? Okay, thank you. To start with, better. To start with, having a personal car will relieve one of a lot of burdens, like providing comfort, which enables one to relax and sit comfortably. So what is the difference between relaxing and sitting comfortably? Maybe when you are relaxing, your leg is up. Then when you are sitting comfortably, your back is tautology. That is what we call tautology. You are saying the same thing over and over again using different words. Is it me you want to confuse, or your examiner? I will pick just one now. So please choose one of them. All right, if you are choosing comfort, it's fine. You sit comfortably, or you are well relaxed. You are seated, you are well relaxed. All right, so you need to also mark that. Don't when you are attempting to make your words many or numerous enough to reach the word count, don't repeat the same information several times, because it's not helping. Do you understand? All right. Okay, so there was lack of comfort. Oh, a friend visited me and narrated her ordeal. This example is a real one, but the example is too raw. You need to refine it. For instance, traveling in, you don't need to, like, a friend visited, a friend came around, or no, your friend had that experience. All right, so you will say, for instance, or for example, traveling in a public transport with the delays, or how you are massaged or squeezed, or what do we usually say? The jam pack us inside danfo like crayfish, or molue. How many people entered molue here? We jumped molue very well in Lagos when I was growing up. Enough jumping of molue and attaching to the distance. So if you think of that, it should give you enough point for you to be like, apart from the fact that it's jam-packed and all, if you are proactive enough, you can even bring in the issue of coronavirus. If you see this kind of question, it prevents what? You contracting them in public transport. When you travel, you travel on your own or in your personal car, you reduce your risk of contracting communicable diseases that would have been contracted or that have been acquired from public transport if there is someone who is infected on transit. So that can be your example, For instance, if you are talking about the health hazards, okay? I've given you 1 point. In case you see anything, you need to be proactive. Many of us are seeing questions about computer. The last one, somebody saw a question about computer usage and all. And I'm like, how did you answer? Because this is a time for you to talk about how people are learning online in this pandemic and all of that. It will give you good points for you to write on. So please let your examples be refined. Let it not be too raw, or don't pick it and come and, download it the way it is. Yeah, it's too open. And then I counted your words and there were more than 280 or thereabout. Did you count your words? The words are too many, and I'm sure it's because of all this explanation that has made your words to be too many. In as much as we want it to be detailed, we want it to be precise as well, please, so that your words will not be too much. I told you not less than 250. Don't let it be more than at most 270, so that it can be error-free. Remember that in a multitude of words, mistakes are not absent. That is the book of Joy, chapter 1, verse 2. All right, so conclusively, while having a, okay, she talked, when she said to start with, on the other hand, those are two things to use. They are too wrong for you to use to start with, and then on the other hand. For you to use on the other hand, you must have said on the one hand, then on the other hand. Okay, to start with, you can use in addition, you can use furthermore, you can use going forward. Do you get what I'm saying? Please try to ensure that your work, there's a flow between your work. There's a flow between your work. What you are using, what you're starting with, whatever you're bringing next, there should be like, what word? I'm looking for the word now. There should be a continuation. Don't break that communication that you're trying to, achieve. So if you are telling me to start with, you can tell me going forward, you can tell me in addition, you can tell me furthermore, and I'm happy with that. But don't tell me on the other hand when you didn't say on one hand. So where is your on one hand? Learn to use the right words, okay? Increased use of individual own, the same mistake. You see, the same word you use there, you are bringing it here as much as possible. You can use privately owned cars, okay? Increased use of privately owned cars. Instead of saying individually owned cars, how many times? 2 times, all right? Okay, you are talking about the health hazards now. So let me go to your conclusion and see. Conclusively, while having a private car is very much needed for comfort and status, people should weigh the cost of maintenance and purchase before acquiring one. Furthermore, not also. Furthermore, you have to also, to reduce pollution, other means of clean energy transportation can also be patronized. So what are you saying here? You have ended up confusing me, but I refuse to be confused in Jesus' name. So your first part, the first part of your conclusion, are you saying that you are against it, that people should, you need to tell me, you need to let me know, that are you saying that, what part are you supporting? Remember I told you that the part you support should do what? Come last. Yes? So now it looks like you are supporting the part that to reduce other means of clean energy. Transport mediums can be, what other transport medium, please? Private and public transport, because this is public versus private now. And you are saying that even though, so you see where we're talking about, although transportation, this, and you are concluding, is for comfort and whatever. Conclusively, using your own car improves or gives you comfort, improves upon your status in the society, which are your points, okay? However, it increases air pollution, water pollution, whatever pollution, health hazards. So I have seen that you are of that opinion. You remember I said give your own opinion, all right? So you have discussed both views, 1 and 2. Your own opinion now should come last. And in your opinion coming last, it means that the sides, the points for the side that you support should now come last. You are left with linking the first side and the last side with your opinion in the conclusion. How do you do this? You state that even though this and this and this and this are like this, I am saying that people should patronize more of the what? public transportation so as to reduce air pollution from privately owned cars and reduce the health hazards that it poses to humans. You have concluded. You have concluded. Did I confuse anybody here? Nobody is confused. Galadima, confidence. Okay, confidence, where is your confusion? I've asked you to unmute. Unmute your mic, then you can talk. I still can't hear. I be una dey hear, me I no dey hear. Unmute. Okay, ask your question.
Yes, the conclusion you gave concerning the privately owned cars and then the public transport, that's where I'm confused.
Okay. Remember that this question, excuse me. No problem, Amaka. If it goes off, we'll see you in the next class. God bless you for joining us today. All right, so the conclusion for your both sides and opinion is a summary of your both sides. In your summary of both sides, decide where you are sticking to, because definitely you are supporting one of the sides. Decide where you are sticking to comes last. And so you will state the one side that you are not sticking to first before you state the side that you are sticking to. So where is the confusion? The reason she gave for the side where she's not supporting is that it is comfortable. She said it is comfortable to travel in your own car where you can relax. All right? But she's also now saying that it causes air pollution, health hazards, including lungs and heart diseases, etc., and possibly leading to death at the end. Then the cost of maintaining the cars too are very expensive. And if individuals do not get prepared adequately before delving into such deal, there might be lots of regrets, and rather it becomes a blessing instead of a curse. Anyways, that's her too much word. We have corrected that. You speaking like you need to minimize what you say, be precise as much as possible. Okay, so her main point was in the first side. She says that it's for comfort, and then she talked about status, that it boosts people's morals and make them feel among in the society. Now she's saying that in her conclusion, can that baby keep quiet a little bit, please? Confidence.
She's quiet now.
She's saying that even though people have status when they own their own cars, their status, their morale is boosted and they are big men in the society. She is saying that even though it is more comfortable to travel in your own car, it is better for you not to have, she's not supporting that many people should have private cars. The reason is because it causes health hazards, leads to, there is increase in carbon monoxide that is from the exhaust of these many cars, and then it can lead to death, lung cancers, and the rest of them. And also, when people are not prepared, they can run into debts with the cost of maintenance. And they see this as a cost rather than a blessing. Now, the side where she is supporting is the side that will come last. So I am correcting her now that you need to tell me that although it is comfortable when you travel and you are more relaxed when you travel in your own car, although it is a thing of joy for people's morale to be boosted in the society, you feel like you have arrived, and people see you and they respect you in the society because you own a car. But I am saying that because of the health hazard that is caused, and because it makes people run into debts for maintenance, It should not be patronized. So more people should make use of the public transport rather than the private ones.
Okay.
Do you understand now?
Yes, ma.
Are you sure you understand now?
Yes, ma.
Good. Who else was? Oh, the person has gone. No, Dennis, you were saying you don't understand, sir.
Yes, madam. I was having the same issue with the question she just asked. I'm clear now, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So can we move?
You're welcome.
We still have a few minutes. Now, assignment number 3. They use, I'm sure that everybody that has questions to related to these 3 things, because those were the 3 questions that I sent out. The use of illegal drugs such as heroin and cocaine are becoming more and more common in many countries. What are some of the problems associated with drug abuse, and what are the possible solutions? Remember the question. What did I say? What are some of the problems related to drug abuse? I didn't say what are the causes of drug abuse. Somebody wrote the causes of drug abuse for me. It's not fair. What are some of the problems related to the drug abuse? When you abuse drug, what are some of the problems? That's what this question is saying. Not what can cause drug abuse. When you understand the question, you'll be able to answer it correctly. Cynthia has slept. Wake up, so that you will not be taking unawares.
I'm awake, ma.
You are not awake. All right, you are awake now. Agreed that you are awake now. Okay, so now, many regions around the entire world are facing the challenges of frequently utilized. I hope you read this thing before you sent it to me. It's the same problem. Grammar. Improve on your grammar. In fact, you are going to write this work again. For you, you know yourself, write all of them again and send it. Let me just read it. I may not correct, but let me just read it. And then download that app. Write these things and send it to that app and see the correction for yourself. Many regions around the entire world are facing the challenges of frequently utilization of these illicit drugs. Is that English correct, class? No, it's not. You need to improve on that, okay? So you are telling me your what is it called? Your paraphrase for this one is actually very wrong. So you need to improve on your paraphrase for this, okay? This essay will provide some consequences related to substance use and profile an antidote. Are you giving antidote to the substance use? Solutions, please. Profile solutions, profile answers, and profile suggestions to overcome those things, okay? All right. Firstly, she has used firstly again. She loves this firstly very much. And then she will not go ahead to use secondly. This time around, you use firstly and you went ahead to use on the other hand. Don't try it again with me when you do that correction. No. All right. The problem faced by people because of usage of these drugs can result to being a school dropout. Okay, so dropping out from school is one of the problems related to drug abuse, which if it occurs at a teenage age, there's tendency of mingling with some bad peers who will continue to cause more harm than good. More harm than good, not rather than good. To buttress more, usage of these substances predisposes one to mental derangement, which if not properly taken care of may lead to untimely death. For instance, a well-to-do family had a son. No, I don't like your stories. Don't tell me the stories, okay? You already know how to correct it from the previous ones that we have talked about. And that's what gives your work makes it too bulky. And if I'm an examiner and I have 30 of this to mark in a day, I will get tired of it and I'll give a wrong mark. I'll just start saying, let's just mark them and let them go. That's not what I want, okay? So the school gave several forms, okay, whatever, they refused, no. So now your point is, at the end of the day, you only have 1 point. Because you have written too much, you only have 1 point, 1 problem associated. So if person drop out from school, I told you to give at least 2 reasons. 3 reasons. Because if one is not correct, they'll pick the other. They'll pick the other 2 if they take out 1. And if all of them are correct, then you score a band 9. Abi, are you forbidding band 9 in writing task? If you give them what they want, get a band 9 and go your way, you know? So yes, you, at the end of the day, you gave me just 1 point, which is not acceptable. 1 point in that paragraph is not acceptable at all. Because, do you want me to read it? You are squeezing your face. Do you want me to read everything and you find out that you have only 1 point there? The remaining part is an example that you gave. You talk about school dropout. That is the only thing of how a family had an only son that were, because of home training and all of that, at the end, the school gave many whatever and he was rusticated from school. That is the school dropout now. Is it not? There's no other reason. In this plenty write-up, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 19. That is the paragraph you gave me. That is for the number of words in that 1 paragraph. Yet it's only 1 point. It's not good enough, please. Improve, okay? Now, on the other hand, possible solution to this problem, educating the young people on the dangers associated with illegal drug use in order to prevent them from becoming nuisance and causing havoc to the population. You didn't say anything about them being nuisance and causing havoc in your first body paragraph, and you are giving me a solution to causing havoc. And what do you mean? You need to proffer solution to the problem you have identified. Okay? Proffer solution to the problem you identified. School dropout is the only thing you told me here. You didn't say anything about them becoming users in the society. You didn't say anything about them causing havoc, maybe being involved in maybe cultism, all of those things in school. And you didn't say anything. Now you are coming to tell me that you should educate them on what? On how not to become school dropout. That is what you should say. Are you getting my point? Let your solution address the problem you identified. That's the only way you get your correct answers. Your problem you have identified, give a solution, profile an answer to that problem. Some of the problems that are associated with drug abuse is what? Becoming school dropout. Okay, they lose their mental health, isn't it? What about the issues of them being infected with some diseases like cancers, like what they get from smoking, cancers of the lung and all of that? What about broken homes, divorces? They divorce their wives at the end of the day. And what about them being bad influence to other people who are like in the same society with them? What about the issue, the problems they cause for their families? Like an only child, for instance, who is involved in drugs, causing problems for the father and the mother. They at the end maybe become hypertensive or anything. Don't you think there are more things that are associated with that? What about how they become useless members of the society and they can't contribute meaningfully to the society as a whole? So when you see this kind of a problem, think about the individual. What are the problems that this can cause to the individual? Think about the family. What are the problems that it can cause? When we were talking about breastfeeding in school of nursing, you say the benefit to the child, benefit to the mother, benefit to the father, benefit to the society and to the world as a whole. From there, you get all the advantages of breastfeeding. So in this case now, when you think about the family, the individual, the family, you think about the society, you think about the world as a whole, you should be able to get 1, 2, 3 points, all right, that are very, very valid and necessary. Then when you have thought about the effects on this society, on this individual, on this family, what are they supposed to do that can prevent these things from happening? That will be your solution, and that will be your answer for all of them. You go to your conclusion. What are the problems you identify? And then what are the solutions? Here you don't have an opinion. What you're doing here is that Conclusively, engaging in illicit drug or increase in drug abuse or whatever you want to say can cause is associated with issues of this and this and this and this. Remember your problems that you identified, okay? Then you go further to talk about, however, these solutions can prevent them, can help to curb them, all right, can help to stop their effect. Do you understand? Is anyone confused? Good. So in this class, we have succeeded in taking examples of 3 types of the writing task 2. We've talked about the opinion essay. Remember I told you, in writing task 2, there are actually 3 types of questions that you will find. One is the opinion essays, where you have the people will say disagree or agree. Some people will say strongly agree or disagree. They broke them down. But under your opinion essays, you have your disagree or agree. You have the strongly agree or disagree or whatever. Excuse me. Then you move over to both sides and opinion. The both sides and opinion is where you have a question that is asking you to say one side of the view and say the other side of the view and to give your opinion as well. One of the features in that both sides and opinion is the fact that as much as possible, keep your opinion away from the body paragraphs. Okay, you don't say anything about what you believe or what you're thinking in paragraphs 1 and 2 and 3. In your introduction, no. In your first body paragraph, no. In your second body paragraph, no. Your opinion comes at the end. And how does your opinion appear? Your opinion appears after you have talked about the other side where you are not supporting. Let the side you're supporting, which is your opinion, come last. Then we have the 2-question essay. 2-question essay is where you are asked to do 2 things. There's no opinion. There's nothing for you to write about your opinion or what you believe or your suggestions. What they are saying is write one side and write the other side. It could be a problem and solution. It could be a cause and effect. It could be a cause and consequence. It could be a positive and negative. It could be advantages and disadvantages. For instance, they say that there has been an increase in the use of computers in learning in recent times. Write the advantages and disadvantages of using technology to study. Here, that is a 2-way question where you are going to be writing about all the good sides, the merits, the advantages, the positivities of computers in learning. Then the second side, you are going to talk about the demerits, the disadvantages, the negativities, the consequences, all right, of using computers to learn. In your conclusion, you are going to mention the first part, your points, just write it, link it to the second part using your cohesive devices. That is all. Remember, writing task 2, you are expected to have how many paragraphs? 4 paragraphs. Introduction, first body paragraph, second body paragraph, and conclusion. In your opinion essays, your first paragraph, your introduction, specific statement and general statement. Your first body paragraph happens to be you are talking on if it is strong, if it is agree or disagree. All right, you pick your point where you agree, write about it with at least 2 points, at least 2 points. Then in your third side, in the third paragraph, have a concession with 1 point, meaning that you raise a point and you raise another point against that your point, like we do in debate. You are debating that teachers are better than doctors. And you say, although the doctors treat the teachers when they treat the teachers when the teachers are ill, the teachers need the doctors, to stay healthy. However, the teachers are the ones who impacted the knowledge of medicine into the doctors to make them qualified practitioners. So you get a point that is against your own point. That's what we call a concession. And you do that in your second body paragraph for an opinion essay. In your third body paragraph, in the conclusion, which is your fourth paragraph, is where you are going to tell me that although this and this and this, but you are of the opinion that this and this and this. So you see that in both opinion and both sides an opinion, and in your opinion essays, both of them have similar conclusion, where you write about the side you are not supporting, then you put in the side that you support as the last, and then you conclude. Drop your pen, submit your paper, go home and pray. That's the end of our class. Any question? We have stylishly dealt with writing task 2 again today. Our next class is going to be on reading again. In that reading, thank God I have a new computer. Fortunately for me, I have been able to download the IELTS Cambridge now, so we can solve all those parts of problems, of questions where we have problems, like the giving, not giving, yes, no, not giving, and the rest of them. We will be able to do that in the course of the class. Now we have a foundation for all the types of questions. Now we have studied everything. It is time for us to do some revisions before we go again over this thing. Before that time, I expect that some of you would have written and passed the exam. So when I have a new set of people again, I'm going to start all over. If there is no question in this class, let's bring it to an end. Then I can go and prepare for my night shift. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, ma.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma.
Right, bye.